I've been asked to speak on how you can leverage technology and AI for productivity. So the session is going to be in 3 parts, and I will try as much as possible, because of so many things I have to say, I will try as much as possible to crunch it. And we will take our opening verse from Ecclesiastes 9, 10 to 11, and Isaiah 33, verse 6. It's going to be in 3 parts. The first part will be for the mindset, because a lot of people are using AI today without necessarily understanding what is going on. So we are going to have the mindset, the skill set, and the tool set. The tool set will be the last part of the discussion. But before we go into that, we'll read our scriptures and go into the meat of what we have. Father, we thank you. We bless your name. We magnify your name. There is no one that can be compared to you. You are the author of peace and lover of concord, of whom no secrets are hidden and all desires known. By your Spirit, you have called us here. We thank you because we know that your presence is here with us. Open the eyes of our understanding that we may behold the secrets of these things. You have given us ears that can hear beyond what our ordinary ears can hear. We have eyes that can see. Clarity, precision, intelligence will be our portion today. In everything, we will live here clearer than we came. We thank you because we know that you are here with us. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of our heart, let it always be an act of worship to your glorious name. We thank you because we know that you've answered us, for in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. All right, Ecclesiastes 9, 10 to 11. Whatsoever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. For there is no work or device or knowledge or wisdom in the grave where you are going. Verse 11 says, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to men of understanding, nor favor to men of skill, but time and chance happens to them all. Then we'll also quickly look at Isaiah 33, verse 6. Isaiah 33, verse 6. Now, wisdom and knowledge will be the stability of your times. There is a level of stability you will not experience if you don't pay close attention to wisdom and knowledge. It will be the stability of your times and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So, you have to agree with me that the world we live in has changed. And it has ever, from the Garden of Eden, things have been changing from one level to the other. We live in such an era that technology has taken a new shape, unlike anything we have seen before. And I would like to put a background story. I'm very big on clarity, and it's for a reason. A lot of people are using AI, all the technologies we have, without really the understanding of what is going on. And just like our senior pastor said, at every dispensation, something is happening, which is what the masses are always observing, and something is going on behind the scene. Now, where most people camp is what is happening. Everybody is talking about it, but you are not aware that something else is being engineered. And before you move into intelligence or strategy or any other thing, there is need for clarity. There is a reason why God created light as the first element. There's a reason. Because without that light, every other thing that was created, there won't be any interpretation for it. And when it comes to my case, when I was young, let me just share a brief story. When I was young, I suffered from chronic myopia. Anything distant, I can't see it clearly. If I remove these glasses now, I won't be able to see all these, images, people's faces, and so on. Before I started wearing glasses, there was a period I could barely interact. It affected my communication when I was young. Back then in our house, for me to watch TV, I had to literally lean. Those big parlor dividers that we used to have in the olden days? They'll have TV one side and, other compartments. I have to literally lean on it to be able to see the television. In school also, I couldn't see the blackboard. I had to depend on my fellow students to help me. with notes. The day they will not want to open their notes, I can't copy anything. It was that bad. I couldn't, at times I used to virtually walk like this because I don't want a situation where somebody I know is calling me from a distance, and because I couldn't see the person, I will embarrass myself and embarrass the person also. So I'm always withdrawn. But the truth is that the first day I had the privilege, because I was about entering the university, my mom took me to a specialist. When we got to the specialist and he started all those their tests, some of us that are suffering from, eye defect, you understand what I'm saying. All those letters they put on the wall, you start calling it out to know what's your eye defect extent and so on. The point it got to, for me to wear the first lens he gave me, I could not imagine, the moment he put that lens in my eyes, I could not imagine that people could see that clearly. It was like a miracle. I was shocked. You don't understand? Prior to that moment, I have never seen that clearly in my life. So when I say clarity for me, it's not what I learned, it's survival. And ever since then, I was asking myself, so this is what I've been missing. Denying me all the interaction, shy, timid. And when I was young, I had extra baggages I was carrying. I'm from Anambra State, and I'm sure you must have heard about this joke. If you want to terrorize an Anambra man, you tell him to spell parallelogram. I used to manifest that a lot. It was already bad enough that I'm not seeing clearly. To even talk. So, when I started wearing this thing, something in me died that day and resurrected. And it has always followed me. I'm this type of person that anything I'm doing, I'm always looking for the deeper meaning and deeper resolution of that thing because of that particular experience. And the truth is that the world we live in has changed. COVID was the introduction of a new era for us. I always say something. If you experienced COVID and nothing left you or nothing entered your life, you were not paying attention. Because the world literally came to a halt. That was the moment. It's not a coincidence that immediately after we left COVID, all these technological advancements, AI and so on, started picking up. It was in November 2022 that ChatGPT got mainstream. If you remember vividly, we are talking about it. What does that tell you? The world as we know it is always on a mission. The generations before us, they experienced their own era, their technology, and so on. And now we are experiencing our own. And the truth is, if we go back to work, like Pastor was saying, work is not meant to be for survival at all. Because if you check the book of Genesis 1:28, we are instructed, replenish, have dominion, subdue the earth. That subduing is a way of demonstrating our ability to work. What it literally means is take what was made and take it to its next level. And it's not a coincidence that the word universe in etymology, uni is one in Latin. If you check the etymology of the word universe, uni is one. Verse is like verse 1, verse 2, version 3, and so on. So it literally means take this thing I've given you, take sand and give me glass cup. Take a tree and give me cupboard. Take a cotton and give me clothes. Can you see that it is not even a coincidence that there is a word like universe? And it's speaking to what is in Genesis 1:28. So the idea is that we are not supposed to see work as a means for survival. It is the economy that has lied to us. There is something I always say. We are created by a creator to be creative. If you are not positioning yourself in that order, you're already missing out. And personally for me, work is a form of worship. Work is a form of worship. That is why the Bible also said, whatsoever your hand findeth to do, you have to do it with what? All your heart. Because when you are working, there is supposed to be a communication between what your hand is doing and how your heart is interpreting it. The moment you are disconnected with your work and what your heart is speaking, that's why a lot of people are stressed today. I can tell you for free. Because by the time you are walking, even if what you are doing is not your ultimate, your heart, as we are communicating with your heart to your hand, it is ministering to your heart to tell you that the next level is waiting. And you can never go to the next level if you don't satisfy your current level. So work is not for survival. And permit me to say this. You see, this idea of work-life balance is also a little, let me not call it lie. But you know the reason why they tell us that? They are saying that when you are working, permit me to use this word, if you are working, you are not lifing. Right? So when you are working, you are looking up to vacation. You are looking up to the weekends. But life is work and work is life. They are not opposing each other. They are together. The only difference is that you have to now sequence it. Understand that at any point in time you are working, you are supposed to pour in yourself. So if you are here today, permit me to say, and your work is not ministering to your heart, something is wrong somewhere. But let's quickly move on. There's an aspect I want us to quickly touch that has to do with the order of things, the instruction to work and the role of technology. If you can put up, I don't know whether the slide will come up so that we can follow suit. It's too small. Okay, but let me just read it out. The first thing on that triangle is the Genesis instruction. If you look vividly, work is a divine command for humanity. Then the universe is on a mission, which is to multiply and innovate. Then work is a form of worship and it's not for survival. Then the most important thing is that you have to understand the spirit of the times we are living in. Like I said, every era, they have a unique way of working. The way we are working today is not the way our forefathers worked, two of us. The way we are going to work tomorrow, you see all these little children, they are the ones that are going to take this AI to the next level. Can't you observe that these children, they have a way of understanding any tool available, phones, devices. They can operate it without your assistance. In fact, they even know it more than you. What that goes to show is that there is this DNA already embedded in them. It's their nature to be affinity-minded with those technology. Now, the next thing on that triangle is, what is the role of technology? Because we've been saying technology, what does it mean? And technology is not a complex thing. It's not a complex thing at all. It's just for us to sit with understanding. And anytime you hear the word technology, it means few things, but I will summarize it with this notion. Anything that helps us with speed, efficiency, and ease is technology. Anything that helps us with speed, ease, and efficiency. I can give you examples. Your phone, the microphone, your car, aeroplane. Just imagine that we remove all the technologies in this house. Do you know that service will be over? Automatically. So technology is a way that God has used to bless humanity. It is not supposed to fully participate in what is going, because it is the glory of God to conceal a matter. It is the honor of kings to do what? To search it out. If we are not searching, that's why a lot of people, they are just filled with consumption mentality. We are meant to be creators because it's in our DNA. So the idea is that these technological tools continue to change. And I summarize it with what I call the 3 M's of civilization. What it means to work in this our world was just to survive. That's the hunter-gatherer era. Just know how to hunt, know how to survive, and you will be fine. We move from that manual era into the era of machines, the Industrial Revolution, which started in the 19th century. Now, do you know that the people that were working in the farmlands, when we moved into the era of machines, do you know that they lost their jobs? I want you to Google this word, Luddites. L-U-D-D-I-T-E. Luddites. These guys were some workers in those era that the machines that came about chanced from their work. You know what they did? They went and started burning all the factories. It's documented in history. They opposed all those that the machine, exactly what people are saying today. That goes to show you that there is nothing new under the sun. is going to, this thing we are talking about, AI is the list of all the technologies that human beings are going to bring about. What our children will do. But the problem is at times, we are not in the picture, in the full picture, because we are meddling with the surface realities instead of the deeper essence of those realities. And by the time you position yourself, the end goal is for us to attain a level of ingenuity. Now, the second M, I've mentioned the manual, the machine. The last M is the era of the mind. That's the era we are in. Have you noticed that there is a lot of podcasts everywhere currently? Almost everybody has a podcast now. Me, I've started my own too. Almost everybody. And there is a reason for that. It's not a coincidence. The reason is because humanity has been elevated. What it means to walk is changing. Now we are going to abandon, skills initially used to be resident in us. There is no other entity on this planet that could learn. True of us. Dogs don't learn, they are programmed. Birds don't learn, they are programmed. We are the only entity that has the ability to observe our world and create innovative meaning from it. Now, we've innovated long enough to have a system that can learn like us. When you hear the word machine learning, what do you think is happening? Machines are what? It's not supposed to be. In plain terms, it's an anomaly. And once that level has been opened up, the value you are supposed to bring into the economy is supposed to be heightened. Now, I want to quickly show us a framework called tech. Anytime you hear the word tech again, it means four things. The tools in our hands, the economy, the culture, and the habits we are forming. Anytime there is a technological innovation, the tools in our hand will change. And once the tools changes, it goes into the economy to affect whatever we are doing. Now, economy has to do with opportunity cost, comparative advantage. What are you going to do if you are managing your resources properly or not? If you check the world order today, there has been a shift. Thousands of people are losing their jobs. I can tell you for free, it's not just in foreign countries. In Nigeria, there are companies today, the meetings they are having, I've been privileged to be in such meetings, discussing the fate of people's job. Reason is why? Agents and AI systems are taking over those roles. So if you are a professional here, please, don't wait for your company to wake you up. Don't wait for your company to announce your exit. You have to use your hand and design a way for you to survive what is coming. Because once the tools change, the economy will change. The culture is like the collective consciousness. How will people think? What is going on in social media? Because if you check everywhere now, people are always talking about AI. There is this FOMO, fear of missing out. And it's even the surface level. They are engaging it on the surface level. But all we need to do is to understand the times and the seasons that we are in, download the intelligence that God has given us, and apply it to the work we do. And we are going to come to the formula that we will need to approach that. Then the last on that list is habits. Of course, habits, anytime there is technological innovation, habits will change. Before we had mobile phones, nobody was doom scrolling. There was no social media. So habits will continue to change the moment we have technological advancement. Now I want to show us a formula for productivity. Remember, the topic is leveraging technology and AI for productivity. Now, this formula is what you can use to tailor it down to the work you do. And it's not a coincidence that it's also a sequence in the alphabetical order. If you watch closely, I'm showing it. If you watch closely, it's P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. And I'm going to run through it quickly. The first on that list is to question everything you are doing. Thank you. If you're a professional here, if you're a business person here, whatever industry you are in, you have to start with the questioning. Whatever that is working before now will not work going into the future. The universe has updated. It is expected of us to update and reposition and question everything that we do. The models, if your revenue used to be 1 million, 2 billion, and so on, what initially gave you that edge has changed. So it starts with questioning. You have to ask questions. And by the time you start questioning, you will get a lot of revelations. The next thing on that list is research. By the time you question, you will have to go into research. Let me give you a practical example. If you are a professional here, take this productivity tool, dump it into ChatGPT, list for ChatGPT whatever your job description is. Find out how you can 10x what you are doing or improve what you are doing, and it will show you, let it predict for you what will be happening in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. If you own an enterprise, list all your processes in a prompt, dump this formula into it, and ask it to tell you what will be the obtainable reality in the future. Because you have to understand that if you don't do these things, change will take you out. Now, if you check the next alphabet, you have research, reading, and revelation. Now, by the time you research, because you have to really open up yourself to knowledge this time around, by the time you research, you will get some revelation. And revelations come in form of ideas. And there is something I always say, ideas are problems. Ideas are problems. And the reason is this, when this microphone was an idea, it was a problem in our lives. It was an idea in somebody else's mind, but it was a problem in the culture. When the phone that we have today was an idea, we were not using it. The moment that idea transformed into a solution, it became a product for us. And I always say something, every problem you encounter has 3 parts. There are 3 parts to every problem. The first part is the raw material of a problem. The second part is the intelligence that will solve the problem. And the third part is the final solution that it will create. But what people normally do is that whenever they encounter a problem, they start running helter-skelter. When you encounter a problem, you should know that you are dealing with the raw materials. And remember the Bible verse that tells us, if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is what? So anytime you have a problem, what you need to do is to remind yourself that this is the raw material. If you stay with it long enough, you are going to go into the intelligence and the final product that it will create. Of course, the next one is study. By the time you get your revelation, you have to study to show yourself approved. You have to study to show yourself approved. Then by the time you are done with study, you have to test what you have gotten. Test all spirits. If you are in a corporate world, it can be a sequence for you to update your process. If you are running a business, you can use this and understand where you can partner with AI. And another thing is that AI can help you with all these processes. The research aspect, you can dump it into AI. That's a better way to use it than just using it to create pictures or using it to create video. Because you're supposed to be asking yourself, what is the end goal of my engagement with AI? It's not by you using it and posting it for people to like it. It's for you to achieve productivity at a higher level. So your industry, your business can gain advantage if you apply these things. By the time you go through transformation, of course, the end goal is what? Understanding. And remember, we are told, wisdom is the principal thing. In all you're getting, get what? Understanding. And of course, by the time you get to understanding, you are ending up becoming a person of value. I can tell you, if you try this, if you are diligent with it, when companies are downsizing, or maybe you're part of an employee squad, they are looking for people to remove, you won't be part of it. You won't be part of it. And as a testimony, these are part of the things that helped me. You know, I used to be a customer care agent. Customer care agent. You know those people that when you enter the banking hall, they will greet you. Welcome to this bank. How may we help you? In this Port Harcourt here, customer care agent. I learned how to code in the bank. I learned how to code. Transitioned. Kept on transitioning. You remember my story I said at the beginning? I'm always looking for the next level of something. So it's applicable to all of us. And like Pastor was saying, we are not supposed to be outsiders. At times, you should know that the blessing of technology is for us to take our place. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know what their place looks like. And if you don't know what your place looks like, you will use your hand and enter into a beautifully designed bondage. You have to know what that Abraham's blessings are mine. What is that Abraham's blessing in this dispensation? Can you answer that? If God wants to download the beautiful things of heaven, do you have the capacity to sit with what he's giving you? Because you know the lens you use to see life matters a lot. The lens we are using to see, if it's dark, no matter the image I'm showing you, it will always be what? Dark. So it starts with us understanding that this instrument, we are not supposed to be afraid of it. He has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of what? Sound mind. Once you apply yourself to it, you will see the result. Now, I move into the second to the last slide. My time is rushing. How to leverage AI plus human intelligence. Because the work we do in Ativa, we are not just trying to use AI. We are trying to see how we can partner AI and human intelligence. And there's something very important you have to note. The future will not just honor those that can use AI. It is made for those that can partner with AI and not outsource their human intelligence. Now, let me explain what human intelligence is. Whenever you hear the word AI, you have to ask yourself, if something has artificial part of it, there should be what? Original, right? Ladies will understand the artificial aspect of, hair and so on and so forth. But it started with me asking myself, because everybody was clamoring for AI. If this thing is artificial, where did it come from? Where did it come from? And the truth is that AI is a completion of a three-part system. Original intelligence created what? Natural intelligence. And natural intelligence created artificial intelligence. Natural intelligence has three parts: plant and animal intelligence, environmental intelligence, and human intelligence. Human intelligence is where we are domiciled. So if we are using artificial intelligence without sustaining your human intelligence, by the time this AI system becomes more perfect and can do more work, you will become irrelevant. That's the truth. The summary is that you are not supposed to outsource your brain. You have to know what AI can do for you and what you need to use your brain for. So many people today, if you check the workplace, everybody is using ChatGPT. They will ask you a question, ChatGPT. Email, ChatGPT. Forgetting that you are supposed to be engaging your brain. And you know the final conclusion of this? Anything powerful has three parts. Anything powerful, most of the things powerful, they have three parts. And I can prove it to you quickly. It follows the order of the creator. God the Father, God the Son, and what? He created man in his image. Spirit, soul, and what? We move into the planetary system. The sun, the moon, and the what? Environmental aspect. You can only stand, sit, or what? Lie down. We move into time. Morning, afternoon. Remember, anything powerful. You have the past, the present, and the what? Still in time, you have hours, minutes, and what? Let's go into forms of government. You have the federal. You also have the judiciary. Can you see the continuation? If I want to take it further, the kings. The kings. It's three parts now. Anything powerful has what? If I want to take it further, Pastor Chris. Anything powerful has three parts. See, I can go on and on and on. So you have to understand that AI is the completion of a three-part system. God, man, and what? Machines. God, man, and machine. You have to take it very... Don't live here today. If you are still in the workforce, people that are, fine, you are cool. But for us that are still young, don't live here today without spending a day or 1 hour every day trying to understand what this AI is all about. Because the change that is coming is going to be mind-blowing. So how can you leverage AI plus your human intelligence? Quickly. Number one is to use AI as a first draft engine. Use it as a first draft engine. Write proposals, emails, reports, and strategies faster. But the shift here is that you are now going to become the editor and the judge of quality. Can you see the difference? Instead of just gulping everything that is giving you, you are gulping it. Engage your brain. When AI gives you a feedback, ask it questions, flog it back and forth, so that you are sustained. Remember, the only thing that makes us human really is the ability to think. Just imagine when you suspend that your ability. You are now using ChatGPT. It's fast, it's nice, it's sweet, but your brain is becoming dormant. And there is a report that they just released. It has been observed that the cognitive ability in the workforce is dropping. As this AI is getting more human, we are now getting what? So please, as we are using it, engage your brain. Secondly, delegate research, not thinking. If you see the productivity tools I gave earlier, let AI help you with the research. AI has the content. We have the context. Let it help you pull data from different sources, but you have to sustain your ability to think. Then number 3, build a private intelligence system. I will come back to this number 3 because I want to explain 1 or 2 things. Number 4, automate repetitive and cognitive work. Anything that you do repetitively, if your work permits you to just be doing the same thing, mundane tasks, find a way to automate it. Then, of course, you have to sharpen your prompting skills. Prompting today is the new literacy. The quality of your output is the quality of your input. Is garbage in what? Whatever. AI will not make you smarter. It will only expose how intelligent or unintelligent you are. It's not going to make you smarter. If you are unintelligent and you show up and you are giving it random stuff, that's the level you are going to stay on. And the last but not the least is protect your deep work time. Very important. Now, how do you build a private intelligence system? I will give you a practical example, something I did a few years ago, which I know will help if you can apply. Because, the beauty of technology is that you can now combine spirituality and science. You can practically combine spirituality and science. Do you know this verse of the Bible that says, I'm a holy nation and a royal priesthood? 2 years ago, when I was still foraying into the research of AI and what it can help me, I was like, okay, how can I make this thing practical? This nation, we are saying it all the time, nation of you and so on. I went to ChatGPT and asked it, can you show me how I can practicalize this in my life? Do you know what it did? It referenced some nations for me, Singapore, United States, and started asking me questions. What do you really want to create? I said, I want to be as successful as some of these nations. This is an interaction with AI. I want to be as successful as some of these nations. It now listed what I need to do. You have to create your own constitution. Have to create your own department. Have to get your own national anthem. Today, for the past 2 years, I have what I call United States of Agozie. Hold on. I created what I call Setwell Department, my Setwell Department. So I have a department of spirituality and intelligence. I have a department of education and research. I have a department of technology and innovation. I have a department of wealth. I have a department of war, because you have to know that there is an adversary out there. You should not be ignorant of the devices and the wiles of the what? Evil one. You have to know who your enemy is, because he's always moving around like a roaring what? If you don't know, he will eat you. Department of War. And I copied the military protocols in some of these advanced countries, practically. I have the Department of Law, Order, and Protocol, set well. I have my commissioners. If my finance is misbehaving, finance department I have Federal Executive Council meeting every week. I'm not joking. This is what I implemented. Combination of spirituality and what? Science. And do you know that you are wired like that? Do you know you are wired like that? Spirit, soul, and what? Body. Your body is the executive, discharging daily functions. Your soul is the legislature. Your spirit is the judiciary. It judges all things. Perfectly wired like that. So by the time you start using this, you should be asking yourself, what does this mean? What's the level that I can see in this thing? so that I can practicalize it. And I can tell you for free, that thing has really given me an edge. I am conscious of my time, my energy, my attention, and my money. Team, you know, you are not just you. You are a team as we are here. Time, energy, attention, and what? Money. If you can galvanize these four things together, it will shock you what will be. When they are talking about Nigeria, you won't be bothered because you are building your own sovereignty. You are building your own sovereignty. So these are some of the practical ways you can demonstrate the use of. I didn't go into all the algorithms and so on because it can fly over your head. But these are some of the things that you can take and implement it, and you start seeing results immediately. And as I round up, I want them to show us a slide quickly. Can you show the slide? So please, if you can, scan this QR code. It has tool sets. If you watch the AI tool set, I curated 60 AI tools. You know there's a lot of noise with AI, but this will help you narrow down to the things that you really need and tailor it to your industry. So scan it, it's free. Enter your details and download the PDF so that you can go and sit with it. The idea is for you to understand each particular tool and apply it to your work. Whatever your work is, apply it to it. And I can guarantee you that if you do so, you will start seeing the difference. As I round up, God has called us not to just be passers-by in this universe. And it's our responsibility to live up to that expectation. Whatever your industry is, whatever area of endeavor you find yourself in, there is a role for us to play. In fact, there is a demand on believers in this dispensation. Because what we call work has changed, and it will continue to change. If you don't update yourself with the way the universe is going, you will become outdated. Something is always going on. The universe is always rotating. Something is always going on. And it's our responsibility to start positioning ourselves for what is coming. I will close with this simple framework. The summary of your life is captured in the first few letters of the alphabetical order. I always like closing my speech and talk with it. It's always captured in the first few letters of the alphabetical order. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I can go on and on. But A stands for as it was in the beginning. Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. I ordained you as a prophet for the nations. B is your birth. C is your choices. And you must have heard Pastor say, the choices we make will either mar or make our lives. Right? But before you start making that choices, your adults and parents that took care of you when you were born, they already made some choices for you. Blueprints, programs, before you even started making the choices. If you start making easy choices, you have a hard life. If you start making hard choices, easy life for you. So your bet, C is your choices, D is your debt, E is eternity, G is God, H is what? Heaven or hell. So can you see the order? A, B, C, D, E, F. F is your fate. Sorry, I missed that. F is fate. Without faith, it's impossible to what? And do you know that all these things are happening to you at the same time? I have put eternity in your heart. All these things I listed now, A, B, C, D, is happening to you at the same time. So the idea is to understand that we are not just here to pass time. I wish I have time, but I've given us practical instances of some of these technologies and how you can use it further. But I hope that with these few words I've shared, you are not just going to be an observer of what is happening. You are going to take your place. You are going to stand in the scheme of things so that whatever that is coming will come. But we are not going to be a casualty. We are going to be co-creators. These AI systems and devices, they will work for us. They will work for you. This is the era of abundance. Anybody can become anything in this era. It's just for you to have that mindset, get the skill set, and deploy the tool set. And you will see the miracle you will work. Thank you for having me.